What is up, everyone? Welcome back to How I Draw, episode 4. We're going to pick up where I left off on that wolf. I've gone ahead and done some artwork on it already, but I recorded a time-lapse video of it, so we can watch it together and I'll talk a bit about what I did and how I did it. And as a bonus feature, I'm going to show you some footage of me actually drawing on paper and give you some tips and tricks and show you how it all ties together. So without further ado, let's go! Okay, so I'm coming in here with drawing all this hatching marks, just getting a basic undertone texture, and then coming in with the white and kind of just highlighting the in-betweens and just bringing that fur to life. Okay, just building texture up. Now I'm going into the eye, fixing some of that. I noticed that there's some parts that I wanted to tackle, so I'm doing that, adding a little more depth, shading. Then I add a base color, come in and see those hatchings, making little hatch marks, and then you come in with the white, and you fill in the in-betweens of those hatches, and it forms the fur pattern. Okay? If I was using an airbrush and acrylic paintbrush, that's what I would do. I would do the hatching with the airbrush, and then I would come in with the paintbrush, fine paintbrush, and just start filling in the in-betweens, so that way you get the fine detail, but it's still soft. Fur should be soft. So the airbrush will give you that blurry, soft undertone, and then you just little ticks, little highlights in between, and it just brings the fur to life. So that's what you're seeing here is digital, but anyone can do this style on any medium. You just have to, some mediums take a little longer to pull it off, but I specialize in acrylic paint, so that's where I really thrive. And of course, digital, it's the easiest way. Your color palettes, everything is just right there. There's no mess to clean up. So much easier to fix mistakes. As you see, I laid in a base color blue there because I noticed that some of that fur had the gray had a bit of a blue tinge to it, and then I came in with my hatching, and then I came in and I cleaned up and added the white. And that's how far I've gotten on that wolf. So what we'll do is we'll move forward, and I'll demonstrate on paper the same techniques. All right, here I did a couple doodles of the eye just on paper, and just to show you, some examples, and now I'll draw it again. I'm using a dull 3B. I know I said to use H pencils to start, but I'm confident that I can control the pressure. So in I go, start drawing those those angles. Do you notice how I went in and I didn't just draw all the lines going the same way? I hatched them together. So angles cutting into each other. That forms the texture you're looking for, okay? As you saw in the digital version earlier. It's a little bit more difficult when you're working on paper and you're trying to draw white fur because there's no real such thing as a white pencil that does a really good job of covering the opacity like on a digital platform, or even with acrylic paint or something. So you kind of have to preserve some of that white, draw the texture in around it. So that's what I'm doing here. So little ticks, little marks, just to kind of show the texture, the flow. As my mentor once said, fur flows like a river. So you just make all those little ticks intersecting and crossing on a very slight angle with each other, but flowing in a direction, kind of like water, okay? There, I got a basic under texture. Take my eraser and just scrub it in, and you see I left some of it behind. Okay, don't feel like you did all that work for nothing. You want your very, very faint texture to be there, and that way you can preserve the white. Okay, and you can come back in and you can take the pencil and just etch in some little mini marks. You'll see it as I come around to it. Now I'm just finishing up some detail in the eye. As you saw, I took the eraser and I just cleaned it up inside there. Darkening underneath here. Remember, this is just a sketch. We're not looking for a high realism portrait. I'm just showing you that you can open your sketchbook and you can start drawing fur and getting that down, okay? Fur and hair are very much the same. The lighter colors, when you're working on a white paper and pencil, you want to make sure you preserve that and try and work in between and save that white. Save that background paper color. Once I've got the basic sketch in there, I'm going to take in some solvent with this really fine paintbrush. odorless solvent, it's called. And it does wonders for just blending in the graphite and making it really deep. Okay, careful going over the white areas, but you see how it's just kind of, I use it for when I'm working with the polychromals. It's a type of pencil crayon that I'll demonstrate on the dark gray background that you'll see coming up. Just brush it in, just kind of show the flow of the fur. I know it's supposed to be a white fur, but as you add the darker fur around, it's going to definitely stand out. You want to have some of that texture coming through. So here I grabbed the Faber-Castell Pitt Artist Pen. It's a really nice white that you can dab in, and it covers over the most pencils and everything. It's a little way to kind of cheat and get a little nice sparkle in the eye. Okay, doesn't really work like for high volumes of cover, but definitely you can get a couple of nice little dots in there and really make a difference. So see, I've used it here. So now let's draw this using these polychromal pencils, black and white, just standard. We're just going to sketch it in and doodle it, and show you exactly how it can work on a colored paper too. This time I'm using these pencils because they'll blend really well with that solvent. And when you're using that solvent, just make sure that you lightly dip the brush in it and wipe it off, like wipe it off on a little tissue or something. Because if you have too much of the solvent on the brush, it'll actually pick the pigment off of the page. You don't want that. You want to leave some of the color there. Okay, so here I am. I'm drawing in that texture, little ticks and hatch marks, cutting into each other, following a flow, just like a water, just like a river. Yes, I know. Hold my pencil funny. You can save the jokes for later. I've been holding my pencil like that ever since I could learn to write and draw, and it works for me. But like I said, find whatever way works for you. I got the basic likeness here. I just wanted to show you how these pencils work. So I got the basic drawing in there. Little ticks, little accentuations on the fur. Okay. There we go. I come in with the brush and watch this. Oh, look at it. It's beautiful. It's melting the pigment and just flowing it all together. Like I said, not too much. You just want to have a little bit. And as you start to brush, it starts to take away some of the solvent because now it's on the page. So you can be a little more liberal and just come in and just really brush. But yeah, as you're brushing, you can connect all that fur pattern together. You see how that's got a lot of gray through there, but it still looks white because of the boundaries outside. Okay, so that's it. That's how I draw on paper. So now we can connect the dots. We can show that drawing on any kind of medium, these tips, these drawing hacks I'm giving you, they work. That about wraps it up for today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and ding that notification bell so you know when future content's being uploaded. And also connect with me on Facebook at Joey Morin Visual Design and send me some of your artwork. I'm really curious to see how you're doing and talk a bit about your stuff and give you some positive and constructive feedback. This has been How I Draw, and until next time, be good.